Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. This is part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD. And, of course, over the years, several things have changed, including, of course, the way that we're growing and raising our food, especially at home. For us here in the South, raising chickens is something that is not new. However, there is a highly infectious bird flu that has created challenges for backyard growers, and it's already impacting over 58 million birds nationwide. We're here to talk to us about some tips you need to know. We're excited to welcome Dr. Julie Gauthier to our broadcast. She's the Assistant Director of Poultry Health at the United States Department of Agriculture. She's going to also let you guys know where you can go for more information about this, too. Dr. Gauthier, thank you so much for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and help me spread the word about keeping flocks safe.
Yeah, this is an important topic for us, Dr. Gauthier, especially here in Mississippi. I mean, a lot of our audience, especially in North Mississippi, raising chickens is part of the things that they actually have done for quite some time. As more people are embracing this, though, what do they need to know about this bird flu?
Well, they need to know we're in the middle of a serious outbreak of bird flu, of avian influenza. So far, when the outbreak began in February of 2022, and since then we've had over 300 commercial flocks and over 500 backyard flocks, small flocks, affected by this disease. And about almost 60 million birds have died due to this disease. And bird flu, or highly pathogenic avian influenza virus, which causes the disease, it's carried by wild migratory birds and often wild ducks. They're probably the most important species to carry this. They can carry this virus without showing any signs of disease. But if the virus gets into a domestic poultry flock, it is lethal, and it can kill most of the flock in just a few days. It's just terrible. The really tough part about this virus is that there isn't a treatment. There's no cure for poultry once they become infected with this virus. So what we've got to do is we have to prevent infection in the first place.
This is definitely something that is important, which is why, again, we're glad to have you here. So what are some simple tips in our audience can do to help backyard growers to be able to keep their chickens safe?
Well, for small flocks, the most important thing that I can tell you is that we should not allow our poultry to visit outdoor ponds or other open water sources, where wild ducks and other wild birds gather. This isn't the time. Also, we shouldn't have wild bird feeders in the area where our poultry live, in the coops or areas where poultry roam. Wild birds, along with their feathers, their nests, their droppings, they can put virus in the environment where our poultry are, and they can pick up this disease that way. So it's really important to keep our birds separate from wild birds right now. Also, keep your birds separate from the rest of the world in general. Separate your poultry from the rest of the property. Limit visitors right now, and use only one entry and exit into the coop area, or the area where your birds live. And search that area on a regular basis for wild bird droppings, like the goose poops that we see all over the place, feathers or nests, and remove those promptly from the area so that you're not tracking virus into the area where your birds live. Pay close attention to those entryways and other areas where people and vehicles and equipment move. One tip that we could all use is to use a pair of dedicated shoes or boots that you leave at the area where your poultry live, where you take care of them, and you only wear those shoes when you're tending the flock. You don't wear them away from the coop, you just keep them there. Also, wash your hands thoroughly, or if you have to, keep hand sanitizer in that coop area, and that'll help prevent you from tracking that virus in from the outside into the area where your birds live. And then sharing. Not a great time to swap birds between flocks, because you can introduce disease that way. Also, don't share tools, crates, coops, or other supplies between flocks unless they're new or they've been cleaned and disinfected before you use that equipment for your birds, because you don't want that potentially contaminated equipment to spread the virus to your birds.
Some really good tips there, and it's something for all of us to keep in mind. Things we may even take for granted, like when you mentioned about the shoes, Dr. Gauthier. I mean, that's not something I would have thought about for our audience to be able to consider. But again, it's best to err on the side of caution there. So let's talk about the USDA. What other things are they doing to help address this issue?
We have a Defend the Flock program. We have a website that has a lot of free tools and resources for all flock keepers, large and small flocks. They'll provide practical biosecurity tips, help you build your own biosecurity plan to prevent your flock from becoming infected with avian influenza and other poultry diseases. So on that site, we've got a library of checklists. We've got a biosecurity workbook, so you could do a specific plan for your property, videos, webinar recordings, and a lot of information that you can use to help protect your flock.
Well, we hope this does not happen, but should our audience feel like, or they know someone who they think their chickens may be sick, what should they do in that situation?
Yeah, it's really important to report if you think that your flock might be sick, because early detection is really important for us to help control the spread of disease. So if you see signs of illness in the flock, like one of the first signs could be decreased appetite, there's not eating as well, changes in egg shape. It could be soft-shelled eggs, or they could be eggs with weird ridges or things on the shells, difficulty breathing maybe in the chickens, and decreased activity. So a sick chicken will generally sit kind of hunched up with fluffed up feathers, and that's not normal. If you have a number of birds that you're seeing signs in, or you're worried about them, report this to your veterinarian or your state vet, or you can call our toll-free number and get a hold of a USDA contact. And that toll-free number is 866-536-7593. I can say that again. It's 866-536-7593. And again, if we can find the illness, we can find bird flu cases and help prevent the spread, then we can protect neighboring flocks and reduce the suffering to our national poultry flock.
All right, some great information. I want to let our audience know we're going to be linking up the Facebook page, facebook.com/defendtheflock. There's some great information there as well that's been updated recently as well, so we'll make that easy for you guys to be able to find more information. Again, everyone, Dr. Julie Gauthier has been our guest. Thank you again for the time. Really appreciate this information, and looking forward to having you back on the broadcast again.
Oh, thanks so much. Thank you for helping me spread the word.
Hey, glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live, again, part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. So let's go make today amazing. Take care.